Ted Cruz. If there's anything that unites everyone in Washington, D.C., folks, it is hating Ted Cruz. It's legendary. John Boehner, for example, called him Lucifer in the flesh. John Boehner hated him so much that when he was reading his audiobook and mentioned Ted Cruz, now granted, Boehner likes the Merlot, so probably had a couple too many, he stopped at Ted Cruz and said, "Go fuck yourself, Ted Cruz." This was the former Republican House Speaker, okay? We've got this epic troll of Ted Cruz that I want to show you for Halloween. It's coming up. But first, let's just give you a little more background on the hatred for Ted Cruz, okay? And I think a lot of you probably know this, but just in case. Only 2 of his colleagues endorsed him for president in 2016, even though he was in the Senate. They endorsed people not in the Senate. Or people endorsed Donald Trump, I believe. He tried to kiss his daughter one time publicly on camera, and she kept pushing him away and almost punched him so that she didn't have to kiss him. His roommate, Craig Mazin, who's a very successful guy and could have easily just ignored Ted Cruz's presidential run, roommate at Princeton, I should have said. He's helped produce and write The Last of Us, and Chernobyl. Could not stop ripping on Ted Cruz, making jokes about how he used to do certain things in the bed late at night by himself, and in every other way, just how awful and vicious and terrible he is. I mean, again, it's legendary how much everyone hates them. And Al Franken said at one point, he said, "I like Ted Cruz more than all of my colleagues, and I hate Ted Cruz." You may remember him standing up and reading the liberal book he did not understand the message of, Green Eggs and Ham, to try to filibuster on the floor of the Senate so that everybody could laugh at him and mock him.
And I love this story, and so I'm going to read it to you. Sam I am. That Sam I am, that Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am. Do you like green eggs and ham?
There have actually been psychological studies done that show the shape of his face, kind of like that Count Chocula look of his. And these studies say that this is one of the reasons he's so hated. But obviously, his vile personality, his nastiness, the fact that he's a complete fake. I mean, Congressman Eric Swalwell has pointed out that Ted Cruz treats it all like a game. He'll act one way when he's looking him in the face, and, when they see each other off camera, and actually acts like a decent guy part of the time. And then, of course, we'll say the most vicious, ugly things about him. Mitt Romney, in his book recently, just ripped the crap out of Cruz. We did a video covering some of that. Again, hated man. So what's he most infamous for? You know what he's most infamous for, of course. When his constituents were freezing because his buddy Greg Abbott, and I don't even know if they're buddies because, again, everybody does hate Ted Cruz, the right-wing just jack-off governor decided to allow the electricity to crash because he was in bed with the utilities. They'd give him large donations. He didn't want to provide any accountability and any competitiveness. So when, of course, the grid crashed, Ted Cruz ran off to Cancun, but he pretended that he was just doing it for Heidi. It's always just for Heidi. He can mention Heidi because she's one of the people he'll mention and say, how much he loves, and they won't respond. That fucking guy? Are you kidding me? It was Heidi and his daughters who wanted to go. He actually threw his daughters under the bus. He's a great guy. So Ted Cruz got caught. He was followed around the airport by a reporter. I mean, one of many airport instances where he's lost his crap on reporters. But Roland Gutierrez, a state senator from Texas running against him, came up with just the most epic, awesome, meme-worthy outfit for Halloween. And here you go. Got him. He didn't just do, I'm going to put on the Lone Star flag mask or bandana, I guess it was, and take my luggage, which I will roll around. He went the whole 9 yards and actually looked like he put a pillow in his gut so he could have this big fat gut like Ted Cruz. Because again, just something else about Cruz. He's one of those guys that you look at him when he was like 17. There actually are pictures out there, But I mean, regular pictures from when he was a younger guy. And he was thin. And he's just somebody who literally has this huge pot belly because the slightest bit of work is anathema to him. He can't get himself to the slightest bit of exercise. He's not somebody who, has some glandular issue. He's fat because it's just perfectly him. His lazy arguments, his lazy attacks, where he doesn't even look up what Green Eggs and Ham is about before he talks about it on the floor. He's just a lazy, obnoxious, scummy. Oh, those pictures of him, he went bowing down to Donald Trump, The hostage video where he's on the phone calling for Trump for dollars after Trump called his wife ugly and he wouldn't even defend her. Priceless. I even got a picture of him. A selfie, which here you go when I got too close to him at one of these Koch brothers conferences I was infiltrating. Folks, if you like this video, follow me at C. Schechter on YouTube. Turn on notifications. Follow me at Cliff Schechter on Twitter, at Cliff D. Schechter on Threads. And go out and make a difference today.